red pocket square for Team Canada. I try to do that when I spoke to Mimi, Frank, and Jace. But anyway, Coach, welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Champions. It's awesome to have
Thank
you
you for
on.
having me.
Absolute pleasure. And I really have to tell you that, I mean, I know how hard you guys are working. It was a lot of travel. It was a lot of prep. It's been busy at the comp. It's after 7 o'clock there, and you making the time to chat with us means a great deal. So thank you, Coach.
No worries.
Cool. So let's get a little bit of a background, who you are, and we'll chat about the coaching for Canada Bench and also your own coaching that you do, and then your competition, you're competing. And I wanted to ask you about the photography on your Instagram account, because there's a shot of a tree in water, which was absolutely phenomenal. So I want to chat to you a little bit about that. Should I pull it? I can pull it
Okay.
out, I'm sure. All right, cool. So let's get a
Yeah.
quick intro underway. Who are you?
So my name's Arshia Arshadi. I live in Calgary, Alberta.
Hang on, Coach. Yeah, there we go. Wait, I got
Okay.
it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's from your neck of the woods.
yeah.
That's from South Africa. Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. Yep.
Uh,
Mm.
yeah. So I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I've been competing as a powerlifter. I did my first competition in 2015.
Sure.
I used to be a personal trainer. Before that, I started personal training in 2013, just working out of local gyms and things like that, and just fell in love with strength sports from there. Did my first competition, started helping people out, and it kind of just took on from there. More people wanted to get coaching, and here we are. It's what I do now.
Kind of cool. And I think we were chatting with one of your athletes, and they mentioned that we should chat to you, and you very graciously made the time. We had Mimi, Frank on, and also with Jace, and obviously Cheeto. I have to mention Cheeto. Don't want to get into trouble there. And phenomenal performance, defense of the gold in classic, and then they equips tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So really, like, I love, the Canadians. You guys are really the nicest. I don't want to get into trouble from the other nations, but come on, Team Canada, awesome bunch of guys. Sun City, we spoke about it a little bit. The Cascades pool, Team Canada had their corner, and it was fun to watch Pam bullying everyone with Samantha as well. Like, just a nice bunch, a really good bunch of guys. So, Coach, to go back to you, with the personal training, then into coaching, and then competing, what made you want to move into the coaching role?
Um, it just felt like the natural progression for me. Whenever I had clients, I feel like I was always gravitating towards the barbell. It's
Yeah.
so much more measurable. You can measure progress from week to week, and a lot of my non-powerlifting, I guess you can call them, gen population clients were gravitating towards that as well. So yeah, fell in love with that, and I've just always liked strength. I used to play
Hmm.
football, and we used to do powerlifting style training there as well. I think a lot of powerlifters can relate to that as
100%.
well. But yeah, so it just that's how it took off. Yeah, I just helped people out, and more people wanted coaching, and I'm like, okay, let's start something here. Let's
Absolutely
let's see
phenomenal.
where we can take it.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
and you've taken it obviously quite far, because to be the coach, your national coach, I mean, that's, I don't think there's anything really higher than one can get to on that, which is absolutely phenomenal. When you were competing as an athlete, is that something sort of that you thought where you would end up? Was it an idea? Because the one wonderful thing about being an athlete, you worried about yourself. The thing with being a coach is you worried about everybody else except yourself.
Yeah, so that's been the shift that I've made here for myself this past year. Is I've decided to step back from competing because
Mm.
I love coaching so much. And I coach a lot of athletes, and I was competing myself, and I want to be able to give that attention to my athletes now and have them have my full attention, especially when we're at competitions, things like provincials, nationals, and things like that. I want to be able to make them my full focus rather than before when I was competing as well. Of course, it was a lot of fun
Hmm.
doing that, but it used to get a little bit. I wouldn't handle the day before, which I'm because I'm competing the day after,
Yep.
which is fair. But I didn't want to have to do that anymore, and I did it for so many years. And yeah, just taking the coaching role for now, and I love it.
So a fun question, and I'm pretty sure anyone watching is going to know the answer. But what do you find more rewarding, competing or coaching?
I like coaching. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, just the amount of feedback and gratification you get is so much because if I'm lifting, I like it's nice.
Yeah.
You put all that effort in, but like today, I worked with multiple athletes and just seeing them happy is just, yeah, you get that feedback so
Proper next
different. Yeah.
level. Yeah. How has
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
time on the platform as an athlete helped you coach?
I think it's a lot to do with mindset. I think since I was an athlete for so long, I can kind of gauge how people are feeling, if they're confident by just the way they speak, or
Hmm.
when they're talking about attempt selections and things like that. I can relate on that, and especially when we get deeper into the lifting side of things and we go into equipped, then that's a whole nother game because I've been in the equipment and competed in the equipment. Then I can I can figure out how it's supposed to feel, how
Mm.
where to adjust the shirt or even knee wrap suits and things like that. So it's definitely paid its dividends.
That time in the equipment, knowing where to the line needs to be, knowing how to set up the suits, the shirts, or as I like to call it, the death hug shirt. Uh, just those slight adjustments, get where to do the belt. All of that is invaluable once you've been in that and you felt it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Are
yeah,
there,
completely agree.
yeah, I want to chat a little bit about the competition if we can, currently at Worlds, and then follow up with your coaching and the work that you do back home. So, how's the comp been going?
The comp's been great. It's been a lot of fun. We have about 83 athletes here.
Sure.
First day, we had 23 athletes competing. It's been great. We have a great team of coaches with me. My two assistant coaches are very knowledgeable as well. So it's been a pleasure having them on the team. And I think it's been working really well. All of us are meshing together really well. This is the first time we've all worked together,
Hmm.
and I think to me, so far, it's been a huge success, especially because we didn't know each other prior to this. We hadn't worked with each other prior to this, and it's only going to get better going forward.
Phenomenal. I had the very fortunate opportunity, and I consider it a blessing as a national ref in 2023 to work as technical controller at World Bench at Sun City. And that was the most profound learning curve and most wonderful experience because for me, my role as TC, I'm not watching the platform, the lifting. I'm watching what's going on inside, and you just learn so much. And firstly, what I learned is how much cardio big coaches do during bench press competitions. Because with Sun City,
Yeah.
you had to get to the other side of the platform to give in the attempt card or the attempt changes. So that teamwork is unbelievable. And we all talk about powerlifting as an individual sport where it's you on the platform, but behind that individual, just like Formula One, if it's not working together, it's not going to work. How was that for you in this competition, learning how your assistant coaches work, how the athletes work, and how quickly did you guys gel?
I think it happened pretty quick
Mm,
because all of us are pretty well experienced, and we have quite big roots in Canada as well.
mhm.
So, for instance, our nationals,
Yeah,
I handle quite a bit of athletes. So,
right.
I have coaches that work with me. I own a company, Northrise. We
Hmm.
we're a powerlifting company, so there's three of our coaches there, and I I know how we're supposed to work together, and from other competitions and things like that, I know how it should go. And likewise with the assistant coaches here, the assistant head coaches. So I think it was, yeah, we just laid out the plan and it just, the wheel spun and it was really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just to go back a little bit of a sidestep to chat about your nationals, I had the opportunity to chat to Ria. Did I get that right? I'm going to butcher her name. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Raya, sorry, I did that again. Uh, and it was just absolutely awesome about the comp because everyone that I'd spoken to, from Brian to Pam, Sam, everyone raved about the competition, the arch that you guys walked in through. What blew me away, because we do the streaming in South Africa, just the podium setup with the lighting. Just for the photos and that. It was just, I think it makes the athletes feel so special. What was it like for your athletes and
Absolutely.
for yourself as the coach? I mean, it was just, it was like an international, basically.
Absolutely. That was a world-class event. I don't think you could have hosted a better nationals there. And they did our Western Championships as
Hmm.
well. And I think they do like provincials and things as well there. So the Stins always put on a great meet, and I thought nationals was just another Ray and Ryan meet.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we can expect from them. Yeah.
We have to Raya, Ryan, and Ryan. So
Yeah.
So absolutely phenomenal. It's so cool to see the sport moving in the direction that it is. And you've been in it for quite a while. If you look back to some of your earlier competitions versus what you're seeing now, how big a change have you seen? And how important is that change to the athletes and the coaches?
Oh, it's huge. I remember, for example, my first competition was at our college. So,
Mhm.
SAIT, it's a college in Calgary. So, the warm-up room was in the basement, and then we had to take the elevator or the stairs upstairs to compete on the platform
Wow.
because
Okay.
there was nowhere else to do it. And we were warming up with bumper plates. There was two ER racks there. You just did whatever you could. And now, when you go to even local meets, our standards are so much higher. It's like you know what you can expect from a CPU
Hmm.
meet. I think that logo for itself
Yeah,
speaks a lot. When you
absolutely.
sign up for a CPU meet, you know what you get. It's just like any other brand. It's like McDonald's or whatever.
Or
You know what you're getting.
WWE, right, with that kind of spectacular
Yeah,
environment. You've
yeah,
made me think, because thinking back to sort of my first comp was in a school hall, and like the waiting, you had to walk through the waiting area from the warm up area, climb a fight for a chair, and it was very, very compact, shall we say. Do you think there's something special about those kind of comps, and that maybe some athletes should try and have the opportunity to experience that just for the fun point? Walk upstairs in knee wraps.
yeah, right. Yeah, we had that at my first
Yeah.
meet.
So,
There was people walking upstairs in squat suits,
yeah.
and yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's good that we went through it because we
Mm,
appreciate this a lot
yeah.
more. Like, I'm not gonna make a big fuss if I don't have the exact rack that's in the warm-up room that's out there.
Mm,
Of course, for my athletes, I'm gonna do my best to make
yeah.
sure that they have the best equipment that they're warming up. But for myself, it is what it is. If it's
Yeah.
pound plates, I'll lift on whatever. I've done it,
100%.
and I don't know if it's necessarily good for them to go through it, but if if they have to, it'll make you a better lifter.
Yeah, I got to say, I suppose I'm Gen X. That's part of our default. You guys should go when we were young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right.
100%. With the standard of the sport and where it's gone, and focusing on Canada, because it has been amazing to see just the athletes, the kit, the training, the competitions themselves. Do you think it enhances what the athlete wants to bring to the platform, that they want to be more
Yeah,
professional. Can we chat a little bit about that?
I think so.
Mm,
Yeah, I think when you get a meet like that, it feels so much more special and more important. And we always talk about it, and I think it makes it feel like a sport,
mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
like a like you're at a sporting event, especially like something like our nationals. We got the platforms in the back. There's people checking wristbands. You
Mm,
can't just get back
yeah.
there. You can't bring your family in the warm up room. So it's a legit event, and if you're an athlete, you're there to perform, and I think it just makes you want to do that much better because of the level of standards that are being put up as well. So yeah, I definitely think it impacts how you want to perform. It makes you want to go to worlds
Mm.
and different meets and things like that. And yeah, absolutely.
So, with going to Worlds and the athletes' experience at Nationals this year, and I suppose last year as well, but particularly this year, because it just, again, it still blows my mind seeing what I saw on Instagram. Do you think it's a good foundation? There's no shock coming to an international once you've experienced the Nationals at that level?
Yeah, I think for yeah, especially for Canadians, I
Mm.
think it's business as usual for the
Yeah.
most part when we come here. If not, it's a little bit even like easier, I
Yeah.
might say. Yeah. I'm sure
100%.
you've heard about the Canadian reffing standards.
Yep.
Our standards are some of the highest you can get. So once you
Absolutely.
come to Worlds, you can expect that or maybe a little bit more relaxed.
No, absolutely. A little bit more relaxed is always a good thing. And it's so important.
Yeah.
That's always a tough balance for a federation with new athletes. And I think that's the value of club competitions and fun comps, getting athletes in. But if you can start at the regional level, so for us, it would be provincial level before nationals, that you are holding that standard so that there's no shock walking in with, but I thought that squat was in. And well, no, it's beyond 90, not above 90. Those kind of things where the standard is important in terms of setting the athlete's mindset.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely, I agree, and that's how I treat my
Mm.
lifters as well. So the level of standards that we lift at should be completely undeniable. It doesn't matter where you're at, who's sitting there. It should look good from any angle.
Yep,
Shouldn't ever be the angle.
that's it.
But yeah, I think if the first meet is just like the nationals, then that's good to
Mm,
go. But yeah,
awesome.
I
Uh,
completely agree with you.
The job of the athlete on the platform is to make the referee's job as easy as possible to pass the lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's simple. You mentioned with the wristbands and the control now, which is something also that we've been working hard to do, but families not being able to come into the back, moms not being able to bring food, and all of these kind of challenges. What's it been like for you as a coach? Because I think with Instagram, we've seen a massive growth in juniors and sub juniors. So families coming to watch and support, and sometimes nationals is the first comp that they come to, and then when it's an international level, have you got some conversations that you could share with us, or some experiences with parents of lifters that they've come to you as the coach and said, wow, thank you?
Yeah, yeah. I've had that quite a bit actually, even with my own personal
Hmm.
lifters, even at local meets. They're always grateful, and even especially with the juniors, I think
Yeah.
it makes me happy. The parents are happy. Like they don't really know like
Yeah.
what's going on for the most part, but I think just the environment of powerlifting for them to be there, it's so cool. Everybody's cheering for each other. Nobody's, everybody
Yeah,
wants to see everybody do well. And if
absolutely.
you beat someone on a day that they did their best, then great. But I think that's how it goes for the most part all over the world for any competition for powerlifting. Everyone's just happy to be there, make lifts, and I feel like we're all it's a niche sport and we're
Yeah.
all here doing the same thing. So, yeah.
It's It's very niche, but we're trying to make it mainstream, and I think we will end up there soon. That's the reason I
Yeah,
started this podcast, and I started it in 2023 at World Bench because I just, for me, what the sport has done for me and what I've seen it do for others. I've been sober for 18 years, and my training and sport was a huge part of that recovery because I needed something to fill the void. And when I've worked with other addicts and coached them, and they've ended up at nationals and international and winning at international level, at Commonwealth level, taking gold, it is the most amazing thing to see someone that has come through such difficulty. And there's many things that are wonderful and unique about the sport. You mentioned the community, absolutely. I think the sport itself is about progression, whether you start lifting the bar or you're lifting a broomstick. And if you commit to that, like committing to sobriety is a lifelong commitment, you make this a lifelong commitment by showing up every day, it's only going to improve the quality of your life. And
I
just,
100%
yeah.
agree with you.
And by the way, speaking about lifelong commitment, some of your masters are mean. They're bullies. You know,
Is
I,
there
you know,
anyone in particular?
I'm not mentioning names. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Let's just say short grey hair and
Oh, okay.
hangs around a guy called Tom. Yeah, okay, no, so
Yeah, yeah.
so
She did pretty
hope,
well.
yeah, we'll hopefully. No, we had the most horrendous thing happen at Masters where the live stream for the Masters, we couldn't go live on the channel. YouTube shut it down for 24 hours with no explanation. And yeah,
Oh, wow.
so I had to explain that to a lot of them. So we are live streaming this year's Masters in Cape Town, and hopefully the Canadian Masters
Awesome.
would have forgiven me. But I do have a safe room at the hotel to hide in if anything goes wrong. I'm kidding. Nothing's
I'm
going to
sure
go
they
wrong.
will.
No, they're really a very very special bunch. And it's interesting chatting to Pam Hodder. She's very passionate about masters and doing something like I think she wants to set up a podcast for the masters and feature them, which is really really kind of cool. So getting back to worlds, is there anything sort of that you want to chat about or share with us? Anything that you can share? Any smack talk? Any bit of fun we're going to have?
Not not in
Yeah,
particular any smack talk or
yeah.
anything, but yeah, I think Worlds has been going great. Just touching back on what we were
Mm,
saying about the sport growing,
yep.
we have 1,100 people here competing at this year's World, so I can only
Sure.
imagine how difficult it would be to set that up for the the Norwegian team here.
Yeah.
So they've been doing a great job, and yeah, it's been great. Our team's doing really well, and I think Canada as a whole, we have a lot of really good bench press talent,
Yep.
and
Absolutely. Really, really
and
good bench press talent. Well, I mean, all round talent. I've had the opportunity to chat with some of your juniors and sub juniors. I've got a few that I'm chatting to in the next couple of weeks, and they're really great kids. I mean, well, great young men, great young women, and it's something that you guys can be really proud of. I mean, you will. I mean, powerlifters are very special people, but I don't think you're always going to have a wonderful time hanging out with a Canadian powerlifter or some of the Canadian team. They're very, very cool to
yeah,
hang out with. So, yeah, I'm a fan. What do you want from me? Um,
yeah.
yeah, um,
Thank you.
yeah. Craig from the coach from the Great Britain is going to be like, I thought we were, and Scotland's going to be like, oi. But
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Let's chat a little bit about your business and your coaching business. There's a link on your profile as well to the business link tree and website and stuff, so people can get hold of you through that. Tell us a little bit about your coaching.
Yeah, so I own a company called Northrise. There is two other coaches that are on the company as well. Anton, which is also a Team Canada athlete. He competed at the Quip Worlds. Very strong guy. And CJ, very knowledgeable. He coaches a lot of top lifters as well. And we've been working together for a couple of years now. And yeah, it's been going great. I started the company and just wanted to get some more people on board to
Hmm.
just help me manage when there's bigger competitions going on and work as a team, kind of like how we are here at Norway. And yeah, it's been going great. We coach mostly lifters from Canada. It's an
Hmm.
online coaching company, so in person, but we work with a bunch of athletes online. And yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
So, and that's covering bench and three lift as well.
yeah, it's predominantly powerlifting.
Okay.
Um, but I do have a background in training Gen Pop, so I have a few clients that do the powerlifting style training,
Hmm.
but they don't have any interest in
Okay,
competing
fair.
in powerlifting.
Yeah.
But I think that's the beauty of powerlifting. You can train for it and still
Yep,
get all the benefits. You don't have to compete.
absolutely.
And yeah,
How heartbreaking is that for you when you look at someone and you know how good they could be if they competed
yeah,
and they don't want to
yeah,
compete?
yeah, yeah. I try not to. I make the suggestion,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
I don't really like to push people into doing it. If you want to do it, I'm all for it. I'll
100%.
help you every step of the way. But if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it.
Yeah,
And some people have turned around. I had a athlete that I coached for 3.5 years before he did his first comp,
sure.
and loves it now.
That's, yeah.
So
Yeah. So why didn't you push
yeah,
me harder?
yeah,
It
yeah.
becomes your fault because
I
you're the
suggested
coach.
it
Yeah.
multiple times, but
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
100%. For you, just to, I wanted to ask you, what do you think it is that makes powerlifting so special as a sport? I know we've touched on the community. Are there other things that you feel that make the sport so incredible?
I think a big part of it is the measurable progress that
Yeah.
you can take from it's week to week progress, and you can measure that very easily. So you know you're getting stronger. So you did 2.5 kilos more than you did last week, and that's progress. And I think the gratification that you get from that is huge. Whereas a lot of other things isn't like that. So it's
Yeah.
undeniable, measurable progress that you can notice from week to week. And I think that's great. And it just keeps athletes in that cycle of wanting to do better, looking forward to getting their prep programming. What am I doing next week? Are we doing more, or are the reps changing and things like that? And yeah,
Keep them excited and on their toes and keep them engaged. I was chatting to an Australian powerlifter and a Scottish powerlifter last week, both cancer survivors. And Lisa, the Scottish powerlifter, got Jonathan, the Australian powerlifter, involved in the sport to help him get healthy and lose weight. And after his first competition, the day of his first comp, he was diagnosed with his cancer. And how
unfortunate.
he spoke about powerlifting uh, meaning so much to him that it's what got him through and what he was able to push through, and chatting to Lisa about her cancer and what powerlifting means to her. And we, like, you could see it was a difficult thing to talk about, meaning that it's like because of cancer, she found powerlifting and she wouldn't want her life without powerlifting. And I don't think that there's higher praise for the sport than that. And that's as you, there's just so many things. And Jonathan was speaking about that progression, right? Where you start out, you haven't maybe trained and looked after yourself since high school, and you're now a master three. But those baby steps, those little gains each week, each month, they just feed you.
That's awesome to hear. And yeah, that's the beauty of it. And the barrier to entry is very minimal.
Yeah.
All you need to compete really is just a singlet and
Yeah.
you're good to go.
I'm going to say the barrier to entry is very low. I got into the sport, so which is fun. But yeah, so a couple of fun questions because also, I mean, I don't want to keep you too long. I'm sure. What time are you starting tomorrow?
I'm gonna be there at 9. I get there pretty early
Okay.
to where the weigh-ins are all going
Mm.
according to plan and the racks are all in order and things like that. But yeah.
100%. So on that point, I mean, that's something that coaches don't really, people don't realize about coaches. You're getting there ahead of the way in to make sure that you're there with your athletes. You're going into the warm up area to secure platforms and, find the best location. And then you got to beat the German team because they're in there at 2 a.m., just like going to a
Yeah.
hotel pool with the lounges and the towels. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. So really, we appreciate your time. Couple of fun questions. So, four questions. The first two are really fun, nothing too serious. And then the second two can be a little bit more serious. But what do you love about powerlifting?
Um, for me, I think it's got to be the community
Hmm.
for sure. I just when I think about going to Worlds, of course, like my my first priority is that we do the best possible that we can and secure the most amount of points for Canada. But then I'm thinking, oh, this person's gonna be here, gotta grab go afterwards with them and chat with so and so. And I think just the community is great, and I think that's what keeps a lot of people coming back as well. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
then I think we touched on this other point as well, is just the progress is very measurable and it's addicting. So
Yeah.
and yeah.
100%. And I think what's so great about it is like most people expect you to peak in the open division, right? So, like that sort of physiology, and you'll be peaking then, but you have the opportunity to peak in M1, to peak in M2, to peak in M3, to peak in M4, and to chase records all the time. So, for your entire life. And I do get the sense we'll probably see an M5 division and hopefully soon,
Yeah.
because we've got a lifter here. Dan Oppenheimer keeps moaning about that because he is the only M5 now. But he's still lifting big numbers, and except he's so tight, he looks like he's always in a squat suit. So it's quite funny to
Yeah.
watch him move. So that
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
it's just the most special sport. Awesome. So what drives you mad about powerlifting? And again, doesn't have to be not serious.
Um, I can't really
Yeah.
think of too much off the top of my head right now, but yeah, not like
How about not weighing in the day
yeah,
before?
yeah, or just
So that's all good.
most
Mm.
things that I think about, it's like, yeah, it happens.
Yep,
I've probably done it myself,
100%,
but yeah,
100%.
can't really blame them.
Yep.
But yeah, and I think as a coach, you almost have to be like a little bit more. You got to be stern, but
Mm,
I've seen it and it
yeah,
happens.
100%.
But
But
yeah,
that's the great attitude of a coach, where you are able
yeah,
to bring in that calmness and that stability and that
yeah,
understanding, right? For sure.
yeah.
So,
Let's see how we can fix it.
yep, let's see how we can fix it. Absolutely. If so, maybe a little bit more of a serious question, but what does powerlifting mean to you?
Um, it means a lot. It's my life for the most part of the last 10 years
Right.
has revolved around powerlifting. It's like even when I was going to school and things like that, it's what am I doing? How am I going to fit in my training? I got to go to vacation. I don't know if we can time it like that, or I don't know if I can go on this hike. I got to squat the
Yeah.
next day and things like that.
Sure.
So I've given up a lot of like fun times, and I guess you could say, but powerlifting just meant
Mm.
that much more to me. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't even like really that elite of a power lifter, but I was just crazy about it, and that's how much I love it. So
Mm.
it means a lot, and yeah,
Sure.
it's the world to me.
So I think just a follow-on question from that, then, what is powerlifting? And I love that answer, by the way. What has
Yeah.
powerlifting given you?
Um, it's given me friends. memories, my business, um, yeah, my whole life revolves
Sure.
around it. So it's a lot of great times, great trips. The list goes on and on. So yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
given me a lot.
Awesome. So fun one as well now. I had the idea when I was watching a very old ice bucket challenge video. So
I remember that.
yeah, who would you like to nominate to come on the podcast? And it could be someone just to annoy them. I mean, there was a certain famous Canadian father and son team where the athlete, he's coached by his dad. They're not small guys, and me as TC and Dad walks right onto the platform, and I go, "Excuse me, sir, you're not allowed to be on the platform as the coach. You have to wait here behind the line." And he turned around and said to me, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's my first powerlifting competition." Then when I found out, decades of
Yeah,
powerlifting experience. So yeah, 100%. So
yeah.
anyone come to mind?
For the ice bucket challenge?
No, just to come and chat on the podcast. So we're using that. I
Oh,
was using that as a reference. I'm not going to ice bucket anyone.
okay.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah,
you're Canadian. I mean, that's just like the first 2 minutes of your shower. Yeah,
yeah. I think it would be if you I think it would be great to have the assistant coaches on here as well. I think it
awesome.
would be a good opportunity for them. So Ben and Philippe, I think it would be great to have them on here. And I haven't really spoken to them
Mhm.
about it, but if you can get them on here, get their perspective on it, I think it would be a
Awesome.
great opportunity for them as well.
If you could send me their IG profiles, I'd really appreciate that. And then I'll reach
Absolutely,
out to
will
them.
do.
Thank you. Awesome.
Yeah,
Speaking of IG, how big an impact, just as we start to wrap up, how big an impact do you think Instagram has had on the sport?
huge.
Yep.
Huge. It's
Okay.
social media as a whole. I think it started when I started lifting, Instagram wasn't that big, so it was YouTube. That's how I
Yeah,
got into it. I
sure.
saw these guys deadlifting, and I'm like, okay, that looks cool. I can go do that at my local gym. I have a membership, and I can train for this sport. And yeah, and then now you have it, it's even bigger, and the accessibility of doing the sport is huge. People see these people moving these massive weights, competing at these competitions, and you can just go do it with a
Yeah.
normal gym membership.
Which,
So,
which is so crazy. And then you get to comp and you get to share a platform with your heroes that you've seen on
yeah,
Instagram. And that is something
that's always great seeing
that,
them as
yeah.
well. I remember the first time that happened to me, and it's awesome.
Sure, very cool. Two quick things just before we wrap up. So we've got Masters in South Africa in I think October, the end of this year. Are you coming out?
I would love to,
Awesome.
if the opportunity presents itself and I can, it would be my pleasure.
Epic. Good. So if you do, we're booking you for a podcast as well, and going to take you for an Avo and Mint milkshake at a place. There's a place called Regal Burger. Absolutely epic burgers. Hotels off the hook. It's the venue's great, and in the hotel as well. So there's some great hotels. I had a lot of fun working with
Awesome.
Horny, helping set this up. And then we've got junior, sub junior next year. So I hope you're able to come out to that as well at Sun City and chatting to some of the executive guys. They were talking about because South Africa's got World Bench in 2027. You mentioned 1,100 athletes this year. They're estimating about 3,500 at
Oh,
bench in
wow.
2027. So those were the numbers that were being bandied around. I was just thinking because just looking at
That's
the
awesome.
growth and it's going to be phenomenal. Be
Yeah,
like a 27 platform comp. I'm not now, and I'm
that's so cool.
no going to be phenomenal. I'm not going to announce all the platforms at the same time. I promise. So. But yeah, Coach, really, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. I've had
Pleasure.
a blast chatting to you. Um, you've really,
Likewise.
thank you. You've really shared some phenomenal stuff. I'm going to end the stream and then I'll just chat to you quickly off air. Everything will go dark and then I'll be back with you in about 10 seconds. All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you
I'll be
so
here.
much, Coach. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with a few more, I think. So it's keeping me out of trouble, Coach. Thank you.